spaceship, but then my chance to get to heaven slim. Oh, I used to worry about the future.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kindred, interviewing a man that some call insane, others call him hilarious. For this interview, we'll just know him as PsyStarcraft. Half man, half Zerg, he's climbing his way in the StarCraft 2 commentating scene, and we, his giblets, will hopefully learn more about his twisted mind in this interview. In the spirit of cliche interview questions, I'll start with the most cliche one of all. Mr. Psy, who are you?
Okay, well, I'm PsyStarcraft. My name is Derek, 23 years old, and I do have a part-time job. I just graduated college, and I am now commentating in the StarCraft world, as most of you probably know. I live with a deaf cat and a deaf roommate, and it's going pretty good right now.
Was SC1 the first game that you played from Blizzard, or were you accustomed to their games way before that?
Yeah, I played Orcs and Humans, in the shareware version of Orcs and Humans. I remember playing that. Warcraft 2, Lost to Vikings, StarCraft. So I knew about Blizzard long before StarCraft, that's for sure.
How did you get into StarCraft 1, though?
It was a lot similar to Warcraft 2, and Warcraft 2 is awesome. So obviously I'm going to move on to StarCraft, and, I remember on Christmas spying in on the gifts that were going to be wrapped and seeing StarCraft, and really excited for it. So,
What made you want to commentate StarCraft 2, though?
well, for StarCraft 1, I didn't really play it competitively. I would always watch a lot of commentaries, from Cholera and Diggity and Klazart, Moltrap, and all of them. And I remember thinking, okay, what they're saying is funny, but most of it is wrong. And same with StarCraft 2. Some of the commentators, only a couple, every once in a while they'll just kind of blunder up on a mechanic of the game or something really obvious to me, but maybe not obvious for them. And I just thought I could do a better job. So it kind of inspired me to get on there and give some good info.
Nice. Well, so far, what do you think of the balance work that Blizzard's doing throughout the beta, all these patches that are coming out and everything?
I think they're on the right track. My only concern is the Ultralisk. It sucks. The only thing good about the Ultralisk is watching it explode. So I guess if you're fond of explosions, that could be a morale boost for you if you see that, get happy and all that. But no, I actually do think they're doing pretty well. I've been able to kind of predict a couple of the changes, like with the tank overhaul. They've just made it so much better.
Yeah.
The sentries, I predicted a nerf. They haven't nerfed Force Field yet, except the whole massive unit thing.
Yeah, which kind of helps.
Oh yeah. I think that's a good enough change. But right now, I think Frenzy needs work. Mothership obviously needs work. Carriers, battlecruisers are great. I want to see more Terran use battlecruisers, but
it's so far down the tech tree, though.
Yeah, that's true. But the biggest mass we're seeing right now is maybe Desert Oasis and Kulas Ravine. That's two big ones where you do see a lot of battlecruisers, I think.
Yeah.
There's going to be some more up.
So what do you think sets the StarCraft games apart from the other RTS games that have tried to beat it?
It's simplicity, really. It's very simple. There aren't a lot of bells and whistles to it. Each unit just has a couple upgrades. There aren't 50 units like in Age of Empires, or there's not 17 freaking tech trees. It's very cut and dry, and it works that way because the units are all extremely dynamic and they have a role in the army. So.
Interesting. Okay, then in that case, if someone, let's say, were to ask you what's the most important things that they have to work on when learning the game, what would it be? Or what would they be?
To start out, if you're a new player, just get the macro down. When I see silver level players, bronze level players, copper, or whatever leagues they have now, what suffers the most in their play is the macro, and most importantly, how many drones or probes or SCVs they have on minerals. You'll see one per patch or 1.5 per patch, which still isn't enough. And, how can you get any better when you don't even have enough minerals to produce enough units,
Okay, in that case, if somebody, let's say they go beyond that and they want to go professional, what should they do then? To take it up that next level.
First of all, have a lot of free time. You're going to need to play a lot of StarCraft. Part-time job at greatest. If you're working full-time, fat chance. So hopefully you're in school or something like that. You don't have to get a job. Just the approach to the game, you have to have a learning approach. You can't get upset. You have to cherish your losses just as much as your wins. You're going to have to go back, watch a lot of replays, do a lot of play testing. Pros right now will play, 15, 20 games just against each other in a row, and they won't change any strategies. They'll just slightly modify a build, and they'll just work from there. So it's a lot of dedication, and like any other sport, you're not always going to enjoy it.
That is a lot of dedication. Then, in that case, coming from a StarCraft 1 background, what are the most important things players from StarCraft 1 will need to change in order to accommodate themselves with StarCraft 2's new mechanics and everything?
I think it's a lot more macro heavy in certain regards, like learning your chrono boost, your queen inject. You've got a lot of babysitting to do, but on the flip side, there's also multiple building selecting, so it's hard to say if you need more macro or less macro compared to StarCraft 1. APM, I think you can actually excel in StarCraft 2 with a little less APM, so I don't really think you need to take anything different with StarCraft 2 than you did with StarCraft 1. It's actually an easier game to play, in my opinion.
So would you say it's more noob-friendly?
Yeah, for sure. I would say that.
Okay, what are some of your favorite additions in StarCraft 2? And what are some things that you're not too fond of so far?
I like that they've made the game less about APM and being able to click tons of buildings and press hotkeys for tons of Marines or anything like that. And it's more about understanding the actual game. Building the right compositions. I guess that means it's a little more macro heavy because you need to know what to produce.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
I don't know. I think it gives people a chance, and it makes you think a little bit more rather than just having the muscle memory to spam everywhere.
Click aimlessly.
Right.
I want to come back to this thing you said earlier about the Ultralisk. You always ripped on the Ultralisk, even though between you and I they love you. What do you think should be done to them? Because it looks like so far everything Blizzard is doing, it's kind of helping, but they're still missing that little oomph.
Well, whenever I see a bad unit or a unit that doesn't have really any use in a game, I will beat that unit to death. I will make it every single game I can. I'll just use the hell out of it and try to find any kind of situation where it is useful. And with the Ultralisk, every game I played just kind of reaffirmed my suspicions that it was a pretty useless unit. So I've